Okay, because I started to study music production. I also had my notebook. The first part was practicing with the digital audio workstation, which is the program that I use to produce and make music and record and all those things. So that was the first part, learning about the interface of the program and how the programs work. So in this part of the study is like that theoretical study. I will be studying the most important concepts or basic concepts in music production. So firstly, I wanted to understand in a deep way what music production is. So basically, I have to practice that word is a process. And what is a process? According to Google, is a series of actions taken in order to achieve a particular end or goal. I really love that concept, so I implement it here. Because it's a process, but I need like a more specific concept to know. So it's a process because you are performing several actions in certain order to achieve a particular end. In this case would be record or make a song, produce the song. For example, we can go and why. So process, why, and I go to this, and I can go more and more deep. But I don't want to go why because why is not so important always. I want to explain this with a graphical concept. For example, studying this was a process. I take several actions in certain order. I research, and I watch videos. Then I take ideas and write them down. Then I organize the ideas and make them in the goal or the particular end was make the map, the mental map. So the process of music productions combines several other micro processes that are also process because to record something you are developing or performing several actions to storage like an audio signal into a physical medium to then reproduce it with like headphones or anything. So there are several processes in music production, but the main goal is make a record of a song. So I use Blue in composing because this is optional. You don't need to compose a song in order to produce it. You can produce someone else's composition. Or I add it because some producers and I also want to compose and produce my own compositions. So it's important. It can be a part of the process of making a song, which is the music production. So it's really important to mark it. But I put it in Blue because it's optional. Because this is another process, the process of creating music. So, in a few words, like music for me is like beautiful audio patterns that sound good for human ear. It's pleasant to human ear. But music, I think, is any song or any pattern of sounds that sounds beautiful or sounds pleasant to human ear. So this can be really complex. In general, music can mean different things for different people. In my case, that's what I think. And for composing, I can use a combination of sounds and patterns, and also a musical system that tell the rules that how can I make a song. For example, in Western music, we use the system. I don't know the name, but let me show you here. Like the notes, that's a musical system. Has several groups. The notes are defined by mathematical patterns and frequencies, and that's physics. That's going to be for the next part of the video. I got everything here in my music study, in the complex and deep music study. But in a few words, it's a system that defines the sound and define when a sound or a note, which is already fixed sound with a determined frequency, when that note or that frequency sounds good with other frequencies. For example, if you combine this note and this note and this note C, E, G, you build a C major chord, which is something that sounds good, and you can use it for making music. So this is a system. You use it, have several rules that you can use to build and compose music. But music is really complex. It doesn't have to have those rules or those mathematical patterns. In fact, percussion is already musical. You can think about music that Aborigines make, like Australian Aborigines or Brazilian Aborigines or Venezuelan Aborigines. They make their own instrument and they find sounds that sounds good. They introduce rhythm and then they make music. Or also African people that is really good in percussion, or Indian music that is really complex too. So music can be anything that sounds good, and it's not you can make it with several systems, not only the common system that we use of the notes. And I think the main goal of composing music is create the music, create a song, and then codify it into a system to replicate it. For example, a music sheet, right? If you got for example, a Beethoven or Mozart, they were classical composers from long time ago. But because of the system, and they were composers and they had a system to codify the music, we can replicate it today, and we can listen to their music even if they are dead or we couldn't record it. But then with music production, I think the main goal is to transform a song into a finished product. And that finished product is going to be a record. In which is a record is different from a music sheet. A music sheet codifies and tells you how to play the music or how to replicate it. But if you record it into a digital medium or a physical medium like a CD, you are storing the information, and then a device, an electronic device or anything, or electric device, can replicate it because it's got it codified the sound, and then that device is going to replicate it and reproduce it. It makes sounds again. You save it and you reproduce it. And with this system, you are just composing. Writing the song, defining the rules of your song, the feel, and then codify it to replicate it. But then here you're reproducing the song. And you, in music production, you are composing, you are recording, arrangement, which is about use several instruments, or it's like the creative part. You can create aura by using reverb or effects to make your voice scarier, or the instrument sounds better, or create things that you can do with the computer but not in real life, like a live performance. So without those lots of networks, basically what a music